The Super 10 of North American Big Game has become the most popular award within the Grand Slam Club Ovis family of SlamQuest, and rightfully so. To accomplish the Super 10, one must do a lot of big game hunting in many different parts of North America. Furthermore, one must hunt not only the mountain species, but the broad range of antler game, and yes, the big predators too. Up first, we have Mark Bedgood of Texas to recognize for his Super 10 milestone. Mark finished the Super 10 in December 2023 with a bison from South Dakota. One of his earlier trophies was a Rocky Mountain elk that he got in New Mexico in September 2014. Mark took his Alaska Yukon moose in Alaska in September 2015, and his mule deer came from Montana in November 2019. Next, we call William Bell of Mississippi to the stage for his Super 10. William took 2 trophies on the same hunt in August 2025 to complete his Super 10 milestone, a Central Canadian Barren Ground caribou and a muskox, both from Nunavut. William scored on his Canada moose back in 2013, and in October 2015, he traveled to Alaska to get a brown bear. We're pleased to recognize Nevada's Jim Billingsley for achieving his Super 10 milestone. Jim has a stone sheep taken in 1996 as part of his Super 10, and we also want to show you some of his more recent trophies as well. In May 2022, Jim took a black bear in Montana. He hunted in Alberta in November 2024 for his Canada moose, and Jim finished his Super 10 with a Greenland muskox in March 2025. It was a Greenland muskox taken in March 2025 that finished the Super 10 milestone for Donald Corrigan of Michigan. Donald had taken a Rocky Mountain elk in Idaho on a do-it-yourself hunt back in 2013 as one of his earlier trophies. He also got a Barren Ground caribou from Alaska that he got in August 2022. And we also show you Donald's January 2024 cougar from Montana. Taylor Cowie of Saskatchewan took an antelope from Alberta in October 2025 to finish up his quest for a Super 10. Earlier that year, Taylor had hunted in the Northwest Territories for his muskox. A couple of his earlier trophies we chose to show you are his October 2016 American Mountain Goat and his October 2017 Canada Moose, both from British Columbia. Stormy Cunningham of Texas has done quite a bit of hunting in her relatively young life and recently completed her Super 10 with a Rocky Mountain elk in October 2025. She took a couple of her earlier trophies during 2022, both from Alaska, a Dall sheep in August and a Barren Ground caribou in October. Stormy also has an Alaska Yukon moose that she got in September 2023. Iowa's Jared DeHoop took a whitetail in his home state in December 2007 as one of the earliest trophies from his Super 10 list. Jared also got a Rocky Mountain elk in New Mexico in November 2015. Moving closer to the present, we see Jared's American Mountain Goat from British Columbia, which he got in November 2021. And finally, we show you his Barren Ground caribou from Alaska in August 2025. The Super 10 award for Graham Derbyshire of Oregon is being accepted by his brother Tom, inasmuch as Graham unfortunately passed away in July 2025. Graham had completed his milestone only a few months earlier with a bison in Oregon in January 2025. Some of Graham's other trophies we chose for this tribute are his Rocky Mountain elk from New Mexico in 2000, his Alaska Mountain Goat from 2011, and his British Columbia Mountain Caribou from 2014. We now call Kathy DeHadaway of Delaware to the stage to receive her Super 10 milestone, and we'll begin by showing you her mountain caribou from the Yukon taken back in September 2013. Kathy's pronghorn antelope is next, and she got it on a hunt in New Mexico in 2017. In 2019, she hunted in British Columbia to get her mountain lion, and later that same year, in November, Kathy scored on a Sitka black-tailed deer while hunting in Kodiak Island, Alaska. We're pleased to recognize Tony Hawk of Texas for achieving his Super 10 milestone. Tony completed his Super 10 in September 2024 with a woodland caribou from Newfoundland. A year earlier, Tony hunted in Alaska for his Alaska Yukon moose. We have 2 of Tony's trophies from 2017 to show you. His New Mexico mule deer from January, and a few months later in May, Tony found himself in Alaska, where he scored a fine Alaska brown bear. It was a stone sheep from British Columbia that earned Oregon's Dylan Hintner the Super 10 milestone. He took that fine ram in August 2024. In 2023, Dylan traveled to Nunavut, where he connected on a muskox. In January 2025, he made his way down to Mexico in pursuit of goose deer, and we'll finish up by showing you Dylan's impressive buried ground caribou from Alaska that he got in September 2025. One of the earlier trophies on the Super 10 list for Minnesota's Todd Looney is his cougar from Colorado, which he took back in December 2008. His most recent trophy is his Alaska Yukon Moose from Alaska, taken in September 2025. In September 2019, Todd hunted mountain caribou in British Columbia, and will finish up this Super 10 presentation by showing you Todd's pronghorn antelope from Colorado, which he got on a hunt back in 2020. We now call Leonardo Laspato of New York to the stage for his Super 10 presentation. Two of Leonardo's most recent trophies are his Central Canadian Buried Ground Caribou and his muskox, both taken on a multi-species hunt in Greenland in October 2025. Next, you see Leonardo with his mountain lion from Colorado, taken in January 2021, and we'll finish up by showing you the Alaska brown bear that he got in June of 2023. Gary Lundstrom of South Dakota started hunting a long time ago, as evidenced by his home state mule deer that he took in November 1970. Most of his other Super 10 trophies were taken throughout the 1970s and 80s, including his pronghorn antelope, taken in October 1978. In August 1980, Gary hunted in the Yukon, where he was able to take his mountain caribou. And we'll finish up by showing you Gary's mountain lion from Colorado that he took in December 1995. It was a Rocky Mountain elk from BC taken in September 2024 that earned Alberta's Chris Maxwell the Super 10 milestone. Well, quite naturally, Chris had hunted in his home province for several of his Super 10 trophies, including his black bear, which he got in May 2014. Two other trophies we'd like to show you from Chris were both taken in the Yukon in September 2017, his buried ground caribou, as well as his Alaska Yukon moose. Next up, we invite Brent McNamee of Ontario to the stage. Brent hunted in the Yukon back in September 2013 to get an Alaska Yukon moose for his eventual Super 10. He's stuck with hunting in Canada for several of his other trophies as well, including a Saskatchewan whitetail from November 2022 and a Rocky Mountain elk from Alberta, taken in October 2023. Brent completed his Super 10 in January 2024 with an impressive cougar from British Columbia. Andrew Mueller of Alaska has several trophies from his home state as part of his Super 10 milestone, and two of them include his Sitka blacktail from November 2015 and his Alaska Yukon moose, taken in September 2020. Andrew's Dall sheep was also taken in his home state in August 2023. We want to back up and show you one of Andrew's earliest trophies from his Super 10 list, a Quebec Labrador caribou that he hunted in Quebec back in December 2003. It was a desert mule deer from Mexico taken in January 2024 that qualified Chad Navis of Wisconsin for the Super 10 milestone. Backing up, we want to highlight a pair of Wyoming trophies taken by Chad, which were an antelope from October 2017 and a Rocky Mountain elk the following year in October 2018. Finally, you see Chad's muskox from Nunavut, which he got in April 2023. Steve Pereira of British Columbia took a bison in March 2025 as his final animal for the Super 10 milestone. Some of Steve's other trophies stretch back to October 2009, when he took a Roosevelt elk in British Columbia. We also wanted to show you Steve's stone sheep from British Columbia, taken in August 2011, and lastly you'll see Steve's Montana antelope that he took in October 2015. One of the earlier trophies on the Super 10 list for Steve Plesser of Vermont is his American mountain goat that he took in 2009. Moving along to some of his more recent animals we chose to share, you see his antelope from Colorado, taken in October 2017. Steve hunted his bison in the fall of 2020 and completed his Super 10 milestone with a buried ground caribou from Alaska in September 2025. We're pleased to recognize Isaac Powell of Georgia for achieving his Super 10 milestone. Isaac hunted in British Columbia back in October 2024, where he collected both a Canada moose and a mountain caribou on the same hunt. Isaac traveled back to British Columbia in September 2025 to get the final 2 trophies that he needed for his Super 10 milestone, an American mountain goat and stone sheep. And that incredible stone sheep is the new SCI #1 world record with an astonishing score of 187 7/8 inches. Congratulations, Isaac. A black bear from 2015 begins our look at our next Super 10 holder to recognize, Barbara Solau of Maryland. For the rest of her trophies, we'll jump ahead into the 2020s. In September 2020, Barbara hunted in Alaska for an Alaska Yukon moose, and she was back in Alaska once again in August 2022, only this time looking for a barren ground caribou. Finally, you see Barbara with her desert mule deer from Sonora, Mexico, which she took in January 2024. Jeff Squires of Alberta has quite naturally taken several of the animals on the Super 10 list in his home province. Some of those would include his cougar from December 2015, his pronghorn antelope from September 2021, and his Rocky Mountain elk from September 2024. Jeff, however, had to venture into the Northwest Territories to complete his Super 10, and he did so in April 2025 when he collected a muskox. Now let's move along to the archery Super 10 milestones. We want to call Michael McCormick of Pennsylvania to the stage to receive his archery Super 10. Michael counts a woodland caribou from Newfoundland, taken in 2010 among his earlier archery Super 10 trophies. Next up is Michael's pronghorn antelope from Colorado, taken in September 2015. Michael hunted for an Alaska grizzly bear with his bow in June 2024, and he also arrowed an American mountain goat in British Columbia in September 2023. This concludes all of our Super 10 awards for this year. One more time, let's give all of these Super 10 recipients a big round of applause.